Hi there guys, and welcome back to another Tom Voyage video. So I'm really excited about this week's video because it's one that I've wanted to do for a long time. As you can see here, we've got a traditional wood-fired brick pizza oven and we're going to test it against the Ooni Karu 16. So in this video, I wanted to cover a few bases. First of all, I want to talk about the specs and the pros and cons of both of these ovens. Next, we're going to light them, see how long they take to come up to temperature. And finally, and probably more importantly, we're going to cook a pizza on both of these ovens. So first of all, let's look at the cost. Now, both of these pizza ovens at the time of filming this video are £699. Now that's important because I wanted to compare something that was like for like. Obviously, these brick style pizza ovens, you can pay in excess of £10,000–15,000 for the restaurant grade ones. And also with the Oonis, they start at around £250, so it was important that we made this a fair comparison. Secondly, I wanted to mention the weight. This Ooni is one of the heavier Oonis. It weighs 28.5 kilos, whereas the brick pizza oven comes in at a whopping 300 kilos. Obviously that's because it's made of brick, there's lots of concrete and it's really thick as you can see here. But bear in mind that if you bought one of these, installing it could be a problem. And finally, they're very similar in cooking area. So on the Ooni, the stone that you cook the pizza is 42 centimeters by 42 centimeters. And on the brick pizza oven, it's 47 centimeters across by 53 centimeters deep. But bear in mind also in there, you'll have to have your wood as well. So it's only really one pizza you can cook at a time. So the next step is to fill them full of wood and get them lit. Now to make this a fair comparison, we'll be using wood only on both of these ovens and we're using the same type of wood on both ovens. So let's get started. So we've decided to light the brick oven first. This is because we estimate it's going to take about 45 minutes to heat up. We've used a fair amount of wood in there, but we'll be adding more to it as this gets hotter. One thing to mention about this oven is when it was installed, the chimney was actually quite high, but because of council restrictions, they had to shorten it. So it's just another thing to consider if you are putting one of these in your garden. So we're going to leave this for about 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to add some more wood as needed and get this thing up to temperature. So the brick-fired oven has been lit for about 20 minutes. It's going well, so now it's time to light the Ooni. As you can see here, we've got a mixture of wood and a couple of fire lighters just to get it going. With this fire basket, we push it to the back of the Ooni, light it from the other side, and then probably add some more wood after 10 to 15 minutes. So we've lit the oven there, we'll put a bit more kindling on top and wait for that to come up to temperature. Okay, so we're back. Both ovens have been lit now. The brick-fired oven has been lit for about 40 minutes and the Ooni has been lit for about 20 minutes. We've just checked the stone temperature on the big oven and it's still got a way to go, but on the Ooni, we're getting a stone temperature in the middle there of about 430, 440 degrees. So we'll get our first pizza and we'll cook on this one first. Now, even though this oven is lit, you might be able to see that this is completely black. We've got a bit of a soot issue. I don't know whether if we left that for a bit longer, that would eventually clear, or whether it's just one of the cons of this oven when using wood. But it is lit. Look, you can see inside there. So we've got here a simple margherita pizza. We've checked our oven temperature. It was nice and hot, around 450 degrees at the stone. So let's get that first pizza on. So we've got some nice rolling flames at the back there from that hardwood. The stone should be cooking the base, and those rolling flames over the top should give us a nice cooked top into this pizza. try and turn it around a bit using this turning peel. I've still not mastered this yet, so no comments please on my skills, because we've all got to start somewhere. So definitely out of the two pizza ovens, this one heated up the quickest. It was up to temperature, so we thought we'd get this one on first. And that's one thing I really like about the Oonis, is they're very, very easy to use. The brick pizza ovens take a little bit more skill, but due to the thickness of the brick pizza oven, once they are hot, they'll stay hot for ages. Whereas the Oonis can lose temperature after maybe 4 or 5 pizzas. You just need to leave it 5 minutes to heat up again. So you can tell we're getting some nice leoparding on that crust. It's quite nice having this 42 by 42 cooking area really, because it gives you plenty of room to be able to move the pizza around. And you can lift it up if you need to, you can move it closer, move it further away. Usually when cooking on the Karu 16, I'd close the door, but I'm leaving it open today so you can see the pizza cooking. So we're getting some really nice colour on that crust now. I think we're almost done. Okay, there we go. So, let's just shut that before I burn myself. So you can see there, we've got a lovely crust on this pizza. That's nice and crunchy, nice and fluffy on the inside. The base should be nicely cooked, nice and crispy on the bottom. So there we have it. That was a margherita pizza cooked on the Ooni Karu 16. So we're ready with pizza number 2. As we said, we've got the same dough ball size, same style of pizza to make it fair. The thing what we have to do with the wood pizza oven though, because the coals are directly on the base, is brush them all back. So we'll do that first. Brush them all back to the edge there. So we've got a nice area to cook our pizza on. A quick check of our temperature on the base. So that's coming up at 460 degrees, so just right. Now the opening is quite a lot smaller, so we're going to have to be careful how we do this. And it's the first time I've ever cooked on one of these ovens, so we'll see how it goes. It's nice though, it does feel quite nice to be cooking on a traditional style oven with the wood all piled up at the back, kind of like the ones you see on Instagram and that sort of thing in restaurants. It's yeah, it's good fun. So we turn that round, it's cooking nicely. You can see get the edge there close to the coals to get some leoparding on the crust. It's nice having this distance so you can move it forwards and backwards as well to kind of regulate the temperature. Now we started cooking on this, we lit this oven about an hour ago, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. It took a lot longer to heat up than we thought originally, so it was quite interesting learning that. They take much longer to heat up, but the benefit there is that once these ovens are fully hot, they've got loads of heat in there. It stays hot for hours, so you're not going to get that drop in temperature between pizzas. So maybe if you're more interested in doing parties or cooking for large groups of people, potentially this is the way to go. The other thing what I'm noticing here is we're getting more heat on the base, as you can see, than we are on the top. I think that's why sometimes traditionally you see people lifting the pizza up to the top to get some more heat on the top there. But I guess that comes down to the fact that these require a bit more skill as an oven to cook on than the Ooni. Right, there we go. So here is our margherita pizza cooked on the traditional brick style pizza oven. I think the looking by here, it's kind of less evenly cooked. That's probably more down to my skill because I'm not used to cooking on one of these style ovens, whereas I cook on the Oonis all the time. So here we have our two pizzas. This was the one that was cooked on the Ooni. I think it's got a nice even crust here. The base as well, you can tell, is very good, very nicely well done. The one that was cooked on the wood fire pizza seemed to be a little bit more difficult to do. I think it's because of the position of the coals and the fact that we didn't have much heat coming over the top, because you can tell here the base is kind of burnt on one side, but then not burnt on the other. The crust and the base looks really good. But I usually like a little bit more heat over the top of the pizza to cook this top part. So there we have it. That was two pizzas cooked, one on a brick oven and one on the Ooni Karu 16. The things that we noticed with the brick pizza oven is it took a lot longer to heat up. It was quite difficult to use, and it does produce quite a lot of smoke. However, once it is hot, it stays hot for ages. All the heat saturates in the stones at the back, and you can cook pizza after pizza after pizza all night long. It's a very heavy pizza oven, but I think you would agree it looks the business in your garden. And it's not the easiest pizza oven to use, but I'm sure if you had one of these, you would get to know it, you would get used to it, and it would become easier over time. So moving across to the Ooni now. It was really, really easy to use. Now that's easy for me to say because I cook on this oven all the time, so it's maybe a bit biased there, but I do genuinely think for a beginner, it's an easier oven to master. The fuel basket is smaller than the amount of wood you can fit on the brick-fired oven though. That means that you have to be careful monitoring your fire and watching it every 10 minutes. If the fire dies down, it can take time to rebuild it again because all of that wood has burnt out and you're left with only ash. In terms of heat up time, it was much quicker to heat up. It was ready to cook on in about 20 minutes. So the Ooni is still one of their largest ovens, but it is still classed as a portable oven. We managed to fit this in the car along with some wood and everything we needed. So if you wanted to take it on holiday or away camping, you can easily do so. If you did fancy buying one of these Oonis for yourself, you can check the links in the description. It doesn't cost you any more money, but it helps me out with a little bit of commission so I can carry on making videos like this in the future. And if you've got any comments or experience cooking on either of these ovens, leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks very much for watching, and please join us next time for more pizza making videos. Right, time to eat.